Hey guys, how are you? It is my very first Tuesday. No, not my very first Tuesday ever, but my very first TWOsday. 2 projects at 2 o'clock. So, Fiona, Finley came up. So, I'm excited about it. I've got 2 projects to share with you. No agenda, no anything. Just share some stuff with you. So I hope you're having a good day. I think the Wi-Fi is going to work okay. It's raining right now, so it's raining pretty good here. So we'll see. But so far the Wi-Fi is working really, really good. So Tuesday, remember, Tuesday, 2 projects, 2 o'clock. So you can count on it starting now. So the projects that I have, hi Fiona. The projects that I have for you today are 2 cards. And I like them. I hope that you like them. The projects will vary. Sometimes I'll have fun folds. And today, one of the cards is an easy fun fold. Sometimes I will have 3D items. So it just kind of depends. But I do have some neat things to show you. Hi, Jen from Alberta, one of my big buddies. So anyway, let me go on. I've got my computer over here. So if I need to respond back to any of you, I'll be able to see it. And I'll move my phone down and we'll get started, okay? The idea is that this is Fiona, honey, I have to teach the people now. Okay, I have to teach the people. The idea is for me not to ramble too much, so don't hold your breath on it. Anyway, all right, let me move my phone. Get ready. And that was Fiona shaking her head. We're going. Hi, Susan. Good. Good. Just there. Yeah, I think we're doing good. Nita from North Carolina. Yay. Hi, Linda. Okay, I think we're in pretty good shape. So Finley's under the desk. Fiona's behind me. She's moved. My friends are here. My dogs are here. We're ready to go. All right, so let me see. I'm going to start with a fall card because a lot of what we're seeing right now is Christmas, which I totally get. It takes time to prepare, especially if you want to send Christmas cards and do all that. But I did get this stamp set or bundle, really, and I haven't done anything with it. I shared a card that my team did, and so I've adjusted that one a little bit. But I thought, you know what? I want to ramble all you want. I want to do something with it. So probably on Tuesdays, you will see some things that you haven't seen yet. So we're going to be making a card with Amber Autum, and that's the card. So let's get going. So the way that I started off, I just cut Cajun Craze. And I don't know about you, but for me, Cajun Craze is a color that gets almost 0 love other than fall. In the fall, I am like using all the Cajun Craze. I'm pulling it as much as I can. I think it's a great color. It's kind of that rust, but I really like it. So yeah, it is a good set, Linda. So I've cut this to 4 1/4 by 11. I'm going to scoot down just a little bit more. I think you guys will be able to see. Yeah, good, a little bit more. So that's cut to 4 1/4 by 11. Then I have cut to 4 by 5 1/4, another piece of Cajun Craze. And with this, I have used what is undoubtedly my favorite embossing folder, because I think like some embossing folders are great. I'll hold it up so you can see it a little bit more. Some embossing folders are great for, you know, a pattern. You know, some of them have leaves, some of them have snowflakes, some of them have, you know, the different things. But this is just a really great, subtle embossing folder, and it is the 3D exposed brick. And I think that if you don't have an embossing folder that just gives you a subtle print, consider this one because it's really, really good. So this is going to be matted right on top of the card, and I'm just showing you the basics right now. We can come back to that in a little bit. And then I have a piece of vanilla. My nails do, look at that, Nita. My nails very much do look like Cajun Craze. That is true. How about that? Then I have a piece of vanilla that I've cut down to 4 by 5 1/4, and that's going to go on the inside. So I can stamp on that if I want or whatever. So this is the basics right here, okay? And I want to show you basics because I think that's important. So back to another just little scrap of Cajun Craze, cut to 3 1/4. Jennifer is a good name. The two Jennifers have joined, Jennifer Drake and Jennifer Vanderwecken. Be ready, people. Be ready for tomfoolery with them. I've cut this to 3 1/4 by 3 1/4, and then the Gathering Leaves, gorgeous DSP. I have cut, you see that, like the gold accents? I've cut that to 3 by 3. Here's the thing, guys, that I want to make sure you understand. You might be like, I've seen so much of that DSP, so much. I'm gonna get a pack of it. Well, I'm gonna show you something. This is one pack. This is the Gathering Together, and all I have one more sheet. Everything else is scraps. I've ordered another pack because it's beautiful, and I'm using it a lot. So we've got that. So I've given you the bones and the basics here, but this is really where I want to spend a minute with you guys. Okay, I don't know how long it has been since you have played with watercolor pencils. It's been a minute for me. When blends came in, I'm like, ooh, blends, that's what I'm gonna use. But when I had my my team shoebox swap with my team, and I did it for both live, or people who could come in person, and for those who lived far away, they sent in completed swaps. One of them, Betty, she did almost exactly this card, but a little bit of a modification. And she used watercolor pencils. And I thought to myself, it has been so long since I've used watercolor pencils. I wasn't even sure if the ones I had were still current. And I just want to give you a heads up that maybe you want to think about adding some watercolor pencils. Hello, dimensional back. To your stash, because they're really a great and super fun thing to do. So this is just the regular set of watercolor pencils. I think they're maybe $18, and there's 13 pencils in here. So I have grabbed some that I'm going to use. I've grabbed kind of fall colors. Not every color obviously is in here, but I've got a Daffodil Delight, Pumpkin Pie, Real Red, and Pecan Pie. Those are in here. So I'm going to use those, but then, you know, we do have a few other colors as well. So a couple little tips with watercolor pencils. I love using blender pens with watercolor pencils. This is out of the vault too. I don't know if you guys remember blender pens, but blender pens are the first thing that made me feel like, you know what? I could kind of be an artist. I could be, and maybe I didn't even, let's get this down a little bit more even. I didn't know, but I think potentially I am an artist. So what blender pens are is, there's 2 tips on the end. The tips are the same. Okay, blender pens come in a pack of 3, so you get 6 tips. The reason you want blender pens is because they're going to pull any kind of watercoloring, but you don't have the mess of the water. Inside the barrel is water and glycerin. Glycerin is in there because it sets the color. So the color isn't going to move once you've used it. The reason you have 2 tips on each end is because the tips will run out on you before the liquid on the inside runs out. So some of the same techniques though with blender pens that you use with blends are a couple little things. One, you can take your watercolor pencil, and this is the Pumpkin Pie, okay? Ooh, a sexy vintage purchase. So if you don't know, I have my sexy purchases. And we call them sexy purchases because they aren't sexy purchases. They're the things though that you need that are not gonna light up your world, but you're going to wish you had them. So we're just kind of being funny. Things that are sexy purchases for us, and I am going to do a sexy kit. Things that are sexy purchases, the bone folder, a very sexy purchase. Other sexy purchases, the silicone mat, the foam pad, take a pick tool, and hello, Fiona. Sorry, guys. Oh, that's Mark. He's home. Well, good. So I'm going to close the door real quick. Hold on. All right. Things that like, it's not like, oh, I got that new bundle that I wanted and I'm so glad I got it. Okay. That is, those are not this. These are the things that you're going to be glad you got. Jen Vanderwecken had a great point, the sexy kit. I'm telling you, you could tell your husband, Jen Drake, you could be like, oh, I bought the sexy kit from Stampin' Up, and I think he'd be befuddled on that. Jen Drake has a great point. Blender pens also work on your ink pads. You can, in fact, I'll show you. You can use a blender pen to pick up ink from an ink pad. Let's pull in here a little bit of Real Red. just to show you. Okay, oh, Lucy started answering Fiona. So with a blender pen, I want you to know, you might be like right now, well, how do I clean it off? You just wipe it on a scrap until no more color appears. Even though the tip is stained, the blender pen is good and you can go to another color. So I can go and just pick up a little bit of red off of here. Look at that. Look at that. See how that red comes up? And then if I want to, which I do, I'm going to go in and add, this is scary because we know I'm not a huge artist here, but I'm going to just add a little bit of red in there and just kind of pull it through a little bit. So blender pens, I'm going to tell you what, vintage, 100%, sexy, fun purchase. Okay, Jackson said hi to Fiona too. All right, so then, get that red off. I'm going to go to another color, and I'll move a little bit quicker now because we know that kind of how they work. But I'm going to tell you something. Coloring is so relaxing. Don't you guys think so? So with this is the pecan pie, and I'm just kind of coloring it solid here. So thanks, Jen. So you don't have to color perfectly with watercolor pencils. You're going to feel, if you haven't used them before, you're going to feel the consistency is a little bit different. You're basically just laying the color down, and then you'll pick it up with that blender pen. But look how fun that is, just to pull it through. Okay, so that's a cool thing to do with the blender pens. Another thing you can do with blender pens and watercolor pencils is if you have a non-porous surface, okay, a non-porous surface. So let me show you what I'm talking about. You can take your ink, okay, or your watercolor pencil. You can color on that, and then you can pull that color up. Let's say you just wanted a really light tone, and apply it there as well. So there's really some really fun things you can do. I'm going to go in and make this one pretty much red with blender pens. Now, here is one, or not blender pens, with watercolor pencils. Here's one thing you want to know about watercolor pencils, and more importantly, blender pens, okay? Blender pens, I know you're like, Julie, that is horrible coloring right there. Well, I just told you the blender pen was going to do the work, didn't I? Are you listening, people? Blender pens don't work great on large surfaces. Okay, so if you have like a large item to stamp, this is really probably about as large as I'd go. The blender pen is not really going to be so much your friend. The blender pen works best on smaller surfaces. Okay, so I'm going to add a little bit of pumpkin in there and a little bit of yellow in there. So just kind of keep that in mind. Okay, look at that though. Look how when adding like the yellow and stuff, you can see it in there. So I mean, you guys know, you've seen me color. Okay, you know I'm not like great at blending things, but I actually think I did pretty good there. Y'all pause for a minute and take a look at that and be amazed. Just stop and be amazed. All right, let me go and color in my acorns. Go real light. Just a little bit of a light wash there, because I want that darker color, the acorn cap, to show more. Oh, that's really good. Remember, we talk good to ourselves when we create. We're like, you are so talented. You are so talented. Okay, so there we go. I've got that colored. Now, the fun thing about this is that I am now going to die cut it out. I do not have to fussy cut. So I've got my little tiny Stamp Emboss cutting. I don't know what it's called. Whatever it is, I've got it. I'll kind of put it over here. I will get my Post-it note tape to hold the die down. These, by the way, you're welcome, Linda. These are the dies that correspond with the set. You've got that great background die, cuts a beautiful image. You've got these two dies, and I'm going to use this one for the acorns. And then you've got a couple little branch dies that you can use. So this big die here cuts out my acorn and leaves. This one cuts out the pumpkins and the, I don't know, the foliage. Pumpkins and the foliage. So let's cut this big boy out. Put him here, layering it up. And you know, I haven't shown you guys this because I'm like, I don't want to show, I don't want to hear all the clanging and banging of this device, this machine. But then I thought, you know what? There could be somebody watching who is kind of new to all this. I don't know, Jen Drake. Kind of new to all this, and they're like, maybe I should get one of those. Well, this is a great way to start, having just the small little Stamp and Emboss machine, because really it cuts just about everything except the big dies. So sorry, we're shaking. There we go, but now we're not shaking anymore. All right, so let's pull this out and ta-da. Now, you know what I'm going to do? Watch this. Look what's getting ready to come out. Wink of Stella. Wink of Stella. I have a teammate, Monica. She's on my team, and she loves Wink of Stella. So much so that whenever she makes a project, I'm like, Wink of Stella is going to be there. And so now I just call it Wink of Monica. But I'm going to add a little bit of that. So that's going to give me a little bit of sparkle, and it's going to pull that color through just even a little bit more. So it's really hard for you guys to see. Let me try and get it there so I can make it look glimmery. The Wink of Stella, there's a little bit. The Wink of Stella online, but it is there. Okay, Jen Vanderwecken, I was the same. I had everything in this kit except the stamp and the dies, and then I used it, and I was like, what in the world? So let's start putting this together now. So remember, I told you it's a pretty quick card, so I'll get my stamp and seal. I've got that. And you know what I'm going to start doing with my Tuesdays? I'm going to start sending these cards to you guys. When people comment and stuff like that, I'm like, you know what? I appreciate it, because you didn't have to be here. You didn't have to stop by and see what Julie was going to be doing on Tuesdays. So I'm going to send these out. I think that would be good. All right, the last thing, it's got some great sentiments in here. Autumn wishes, grateful for you, thanks, you're the best. Blessed to have you in my life. I've already stamped Autumn wishes, and I have told you guys 87 times you need this set, okay? Because the dies and the sentiments are amazing, right? So these are some of the dies, and I've got one of the other dies set aside over here that I'm going to use to cut out Autumn wishes. I should really keep this whole area tidier, because I don't know where that die went to. It's here somewhere, though, and it'll turn up. So we'll find it. Anyway, you know what I'll do? I'm gonna adapt, improvise, and overcome. I always wonder what Julie's up to. Oh, good, Susan. I'm glad you got it. Ah, yay. I'm gonna use this die because it'll still work. So back to my little machine. Back to my layers. Put Autumn wishes down. I'm back here. You can't really see me, but here I am. I know that Canadian postal strike is a big gross fest, isn't it, Jen Vanderwecken? That's happening up in Canada. All right, last thing here, and then I'm going to pull it all together. Now, I'm going to tell you, there are two things that you can always use. Come on, buddy, to pull a card together, and we're going to use them. Okay. There we go. You're going to see it all the magic getting ready to happen. So I've got this. I've got this. I'm going to go on ahead here. This. I know you're like, Julie, you haven't used dimensionals yet. I'm going to. Hold your horses. Plop that right in there. Okay. Then I will take my leaves, and I'm not using dimensionals yet here either. Plopping them. You did get your fingers in the mail. If you guys don't know what we're talking about the fingers in the mail, you need to watch, was it my last free class that I did? My free online class? Side note, the third Wednesday of every month, I do a free online class. So you guys are going to get lots of opportunities to fast forward past Julie. Because we got Tuesdays now, we've got the Great North American Stampin' Show, and then we have our free class on the third Wednesday of every month. So, oh, there we go. So that I'm popping up. And then the always, always, always add. Always. Linen thread. So I'm going to do my double bow. And I mean, you need every color of linen thread. And listen to me, linen thread is different. Thanks, Linda. Linen thread, Linda, you are such an encourager. You really are. Is different from baker's twine, okay? It has a different consistency. It ties differently. I don't know. I'm not a huge baker's twine fan, but you guys know, man, I am all about the linen thread. And now we have 3 colors of it, right? We've got the natural, which I'm using now, the olive, and the espresso. And if you are in the Stamp and Shine Club, you got some olive and espresso in last month's kit. In addition, you got a half a pack of this DSP in that kit as well. So, yeah, you guys can make these projects now. All right. Thank you, Nita. Nita, I need to tell you, most everything I do here is going to be pretty quick to make because I'm not talented enough to do anything else. So, and that's okay. I know my lane and I stay in it. I'm happy to be there. Okay. I do like the little fronds and the tails and everything going all sorts of wacky places. And then you guys, you have got to use these Cajun Craze dots. Again, my card club people, you have them. I know you haven't used them all yet. So super, super amazing product here, these Cajun Craze dots. So I'll grab a couple of them. I don't know where my take a pick tool went. Here's a tip. You can take your paper snips and pull the dots up. That way, look, I only have 2 more. Linda said not. Hey, Pam. So, y'all, the Great North American Stampin' Show, I think 2 weeks ago, I did, well, I can show you. I have it right here. I did the boxes that you could put your Bath and Body Works soap in. Oh, good. I'm glad you got it, Jen. I'm sorry it took so long. And Linda LaFawn, she's going to put a picture. Linda, I need you to put the picture up on the Great. She has done, like, any number of them for her grandkids, daughters-in-law, friends, all of that. So anyway, so there's that card. This is the one I did ahead of time. I actually like it with these leaves a little bit better. So, but a quick and easy card. And again, the stamps that I used, the bundle that I used was the bundle entitled Amber Autum. Amber, 12, Linda, you did 12? Wow. Okay, so there's Amber Autum. So that is that project. But I promised you 2. So let's do 2. Now, this one, this is a sneak peek, okay? This is a sneak peek project of one of the projects that is going to be included in, clean up some stuff here so I can find dies like I couldn't find before. The Great North American Stampin' Show, you know we have a retreat in a box coming along. It's kind of a mini retreat in a box in that it doesn't have like the bag and things like that. But it does have plenty of product. It's got 2 really stellar over-the-top 3Ds, and then 8 cards are included in it. And everything that we are using is coming from this Keeping Traditions scrapbooking kit. But we're doing no scrapbooking whatsoever with it. So I wanted to show you, I thought, you know what? And I need to tell you this, for me, I'm almost sold out of what I have available for this. But I know that Lauren, if you're Canadian and you want it, you can order from Lauren, Jody, Lisa. So order from your demonstrator. But this is going to be one of the projects. So this is a true sneak peek project. All right. And it is a little bit of a fun fold here. So I think that you guys will like that. All right. So let me pull my pieces here. Kind of have them all set out. Okay, good. All right, so here's what this is. And again, this would be in your kit for you. All right. I have a piece of old olive, and I have cut that old olive to 5.5 by 7.5. Look at my notes and make sure. 5.5 by 7.5. Or 5.5 by 7. Okay, 5.5 by 7. And then I have scored it already at 2 3/4. All right, so I'm going to go on and fold that. Here comes another sexy purchase, bone folder. Okay. I am going to have a piece of white inside of it, cut to 4 by 5 1/4, and I'm not going to adhere that yet, and you'll see why, okay? Then I have a piece of this DSP. This comes in the kit. Just so you know, I think the Christmas Traditions Designer Series paper is, if it's not sold out, it's very, very close to being sold out. So having all of this included in that kit is going to work out really, really well for you if you choose to join in. Okay, so this is 1 1/2 by 5 1/4, and it is going to go just right here, flush with the edge. Okay. Yeah, that's good. Okay, so that's going to go there. Now you can see this is going to go in here. This is going to fold over. You can kind of see a little bit, but there's more. Okay, I have cut a piece of 1 inch by 3 1/2 old olive. Okay, then I've scored it at 1 inch. So I'm gonna fold that in, and I think you guys can kind of see where I'm going on this gatefold card. Okay, this is going to be adhered behind this basic white. So let me put some really strong adhesive. Why strong adhesive? Because anytime we're using cardstock and we're making it do something that it's not designed to do, we want strong adhesive. So I just used the Stamp and Seal Plus there. Again, not a sexy purchase, but one you're glad you'll have. Okay, and then I adhered it here. So you can see this gate is kind of opening here. All right, now I can go on and adhere this inside the card. So that's what I'm going to do. And perfecto. Get it lined up well. It's pretty good. Okay, then this piece I have cut to, I think it's 2 3/4. Let me measure it real quick. I should have written these dimensions down. 2 1/2. 2 1/2 by 5 1/4. It's just the flip side, okay? Sorry, 2 1/2 by 5 1/4. And it's gonna go right here on the front. So you can see how the card is coming together. Okay, thanks, Linda. All right, so we have our gate here. Now, what I have done, again, I've told you again, maybe someone will listen to me. I have used the dies from the Traditional Labels stamp set. And this is an add-on to this class if you don't have it. But I think a lot of you guys should have it by now. And it's funny because a lot of times, I mean, you would think like in the sales world, it's like show a bunch of different product and people will find and fall in love with things. And that is true. That's totally true. But sometimes I just think it's nice that you're like, ooh, I already have that. So this is going to teach me something that I can use with it. So we are using it again. I have already cut out a label using this die. I did it with basic white, and this is it right here. Okay, I do like this fun fold. I do. So I'm going to again put a little bit of that strong adhesive here, and could I use tear and tape, which you know I love? Yes, I could, but this is handier. Okay, and this is going to go right here. Now, here's the fun thing about this. This set, okay, this scrapbooking kit that we are not scrapbooking with, comes with a bunch of punch outs. And I am the last person, everybody else has designed their projects, but I was out of town, was when we went to that Florida State football game. So I'm like, everybody, y'all design your projects and I'll just use the leftovers. So I have a picture of all the leftovers that I'm allowed to use to make my cards. And I'm like, oh, this is a leftover. But there are 3 sheets in here that you guys will get that you'll use on the different projects, okay? And I mean, this is, look how big that is, okay? Like that's my hand, okay? So you can see it's designed for scrapbooking, but we're not gonna use for scrapbooking. This is what I want you to see. 2 of the sheets are punch outs, okay? So these, like, look, just punch right out, okay? This one, punch right out, okay? But one of them is like self-adhesive die cuts. And that's what I'm going to use here. So this was an extra, okay? So I'm going to use this, and I just pull it out. And I know we're like, Julie, it's sticky. If you put it down on here, what's going to happen is that the sticky part's going to stick and your gate's not going to open. Man, Salva, you did not think that through clearly, because if you had, you would have done something different. I'm kind of embarrassed for you, Julie, because why in the world would you do something like that? Now you're going to be, you know, the people are going to laugh, and I've told people that you're kind of a good stamper, and you're making a crucial mistake here in front of everyone, and I am embarrassed. Well, boom. This is your little bean bag that you use when you're embossing, okay? It's got like you can kind of see it on my fingers there, okay? It's got like a little powder on it, okay? And this comes in our embossing kit, and really you should have one. But so anything that has like a powder on it, you can take it and just pat it on that adhesive back, and guess what's gonna happen? Not sticky anymore. It's not sticky anymore. It is magic. It is stamping magic. So I'm gonna put some adhesive here because this is where I want this to go. Oh my goodness, look at that. See? Look. I'm pushing it down really hard. Another sexy purchase. I'm gonna tell you what, I should call myself like the sexy stamper, because sexy. And again, all non-sexy, but here we go. So look at that. I mean, that's beautiful, right? So that's a way that you can use self-adhesive die cuts and not have them stick. Now, I'm going to grab a sentiment out of here. I'm going to do just the Mary. And you can combine, you guys have seen me do it. You guys have seen me combine these sentiments. I do not know. That might be the Amazon man at the door. We don't know. But Fiona and Finley are wound up. Okay. And I'm just going to stamp. Probably should have done it before I adhered it. Please work. Mary. Hey, look at there. That worked pretty good. Okay. Right there. And then on the inside, I think I'll stamp. You don't have to stamp anything, you know, but sometimes I can't think of all the words. And so I'm like, ooh, if I stamp something, I don't have to have all the words. So, season's greetings on the inside. See, I told you, Adam asked what you were talking about. I'm telling you, that's the way to get some more stamping supplies. So, hi, Adam. Funny thing, Jen Drake's husband is named Adam, and last night we were on our Creating for Christ Bible study, and he walked in, and we were talking about Adam, but not in a good way, because we were talking about Adam in Genesis, and we had to clarify that wasn't Jen Drake's Adam, that he's a good Adam. Okay, so that's the inside. So we got here and here. So there's just a couple little things. This is a little bit empty to me, and that's kind of bugging me. So what I did with that is I'm going to pull this. This is one of the punch outs in that kit. It's just a little banner type thing. And, oh, he's racing and said hi. If you don't have, if you don't have enough of these, you've used them for something else, these dies, and I just noticed this today. These dies have the same thing, just a little bit larger on the inside, but I'll use this one. I don't need all of this length, so I'm going to cut just a little dab off and adhere. You might be like, Julie, what's that behind you? Remember, these are scrapbooking kits. Every one of these die cuts that is a scrapbooking kit has like project 1, project 2, project 3. So if you wanted to do it for scrapbooking, I mean, you can't for our class because you won't have the supplies necessary. But if you wanted to get one just for scrapbooking, it tells you where everything goes. So I got that right there. And then, y'all, you better get these too. These are selling out. I've got some in my stash, and so you'll get them in this class, okay? But I did see somebody just went in, and you know who you are on this, and just bought like 3 packs of them, because I'm telling you, they're great, but they are very, very close to selling out. And I don't know if these will be replaced. So these are the traditional sparkling sequins, and they're amazing. So I'm going to put a couple right here. I'm using the pool party, which I love because it kind of matches here. It is very cute, Linda LaFond. Very cute. And that goes there. So, oh good, yeah. I don't think they're going to last long. I know they did just come back in stock, but I don't think they're going to last long. So anyway, so that's a card right there. Boom, boom, gatefold card, right? So I'm going to pull the camera up and talk to you for a minute because I do have a couple things to talk to you about. So it sounds like you're going to the principal's office. We have some things that we need to talk about. So, hey now. All right, there we go. So I told you this is a sneak peek of the Great North American Stampin' Show Girls, our class that we're doing this month. Again, as a reminder for it, you will get this kit, you'll get the dots, you'll get ribbon, you'll get all the supplies that you need to make 2 amazing 3D projects and 8 cards. So it really is a good class. And you know, we'll have a pillow gift or 2 in there as well. So I wanted to make sure you guys knew about that. Another sneak peek, okay? The Stampin' Shine Club. I'm going to show you what you guys are kind of doing this month. I love it. You are going to be using the, what is it called? Like the Tags and More Christmas DSP. Some of these colors here. And what's the other, Jennifer? Love that gingham. That's a scrap there, but those cut out into tags. And there's even some punch outs that go along with these. Like I can show you, like this was one of the punch outs. I just have a pile because I've been creating the projects. Okay. So you're going to be using this. You're going to get red ribbon. You're going to get the Dear Dots dies. And so I'm going to show you real quick these projects. Okay. So we've got, some of you have maybe seen. So that's one. I'm not holding them up here long because 2, 3, this is beautiful, 4, you'll make 8 of them. You're going to get the supplies that you need to make 8 of these, but then this is something that I'm doing, okay, just for you guys, for my club. I am going to send everybody one of these cards, okay, and an envelope, and I have 2 projects that I'm going to teach you how to make using the card and the envelope. Now, the box you guys will be familiar with because I did it on the Great North American Stampin' Show on Thursday. This is actually the one that you guys will get directions for. But the envelope is a gift card holder. And I'm going to tell you, I want you to see this. It shows, okay, so that's going to be the outside of it. And if you guys remember this is a back in the day project too, where you would take an envelope and turn it into a gift card holder. And I don't know if you guys remember that, but that's going to be the inside. So anyway, so I'm sending you those. It's just kind of a little happy so that you can get 2 extra projects there. So if you are in the Stampin' Shine Club, you know what's heading your way. If you want to subscribe to it, it's $44 and you get supplies to make 8 projects every month. With plenty left over. Or if you want to do it just on a month-to-month basis, it's $49 and that includes shipping and everything. So I wanted you to see that. And then, I know, Gayla, it has. And then finally, if you are not a demonstrator, don't forget the amazing special out there right now. Consider it. Just consider it because I'll tell you what, there's a community of people all around the world who call themselves Stampin' Up! Demonstrators, and we need what you have. We need what you have. So you think about it. You think about it and contact a demonstrator that you are working with primarily if you are not a demonstrator, if you're not really working with one, or if you're like, well, I'm stuck with Salva, just message me. I've got room for you. So anyway, that's what I have. That is Tuesday, 2 projects on Tuesday at 2 o'clock. That's what we've got. You will next see me online Thursday night, Great North American Stampin' Show. And I will have an amazing project for you. I have not won the last 2 times. And in fact, I hadn't even come in second. But I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it because everyone's projects are so good. I would encourage you, don't just look at the projects of your favorite demo. Look at all. I mean, they are all really good. So anyway, I'll be back then. But guys, thank you for stopping by. Thank you for seeing me. Thank you for being part of this crazy little community we have. I sure do love it. So I'll see you guys soon. Bye-bye.